Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are kicking off our Christmas 2017 soaping season with a gorgeous vanilla spice soap. So vanilla spice is going to be one of my 2017 Christmas themes, and I want to thank Crystal for this idea. She sent in a recipe request almost a year ago for something to do with the Body Shop's old vanilla spice blend. And I have never encountered their vanilla spice blend, but I really love the idea of, warm, sweet vanilla with notes of cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves and just, ooh. So that's where the inspiration came from, and this is the first project that we're doing with it, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So here are the bars in question. You can see there's this lovely fine swirl, sort of dark with creamy goodness in it, and then a pretty glittery top because I'm a sucker for glitter, and they smell wonderful. So the scent blend comes from a blend of benzoin, which is our vanilla note, and it's wonderful and warm and rich. And then I've accented that with some cinnamon bark, some nutmeg, and some clove essential oils. And I have tried to keep the cinnamon bark amount fairly small because I know the price of cinnamon bark essential oil has actually gone up quite a lot in the last couple years since I bought my bottle, which is always a bummer when that happens, but I suppose it's sort of something that we have to be prepared to accept when we work with ingredients made from crops that can have, varying levels of success from year to year. In order to get such fine, lovely swirls, we need to work with a fairly thin batter. So I've achieved that in sort of two different ways. Number one is just adjusting the batter, the fat ratios in it so that we have more sort of thinner fats and less hardening fat. So you will want to give this bar at least 4 weeks to age and harden. And then I'm working at a slightly warmer temperature than I usually do. So you'll notice as I work that the batter is much more fluid than it often is for soaps where I'm doing maybe sort of more heavily defined layers or where I want a swirl that's a little bit chunkier than this one is. Assuming you're able to keep your trays relatively thin, this soap comes together really easily. So come on, let's kick off the 2017 Christmas soaping season and let's get started. We'll begin by creating our batter and bringing it to trays. So in here I have our oils, and this is our lye solution. So I combined all of the oils, and remember all of the information about these oils and the amounts to use is in the description box below. I melted them and then I let them cool, and so they're just a little bit warmer than room temperatures, a little tiny bit warm to the touch right now. I do want this batter to be a little bit warmer than straight up room temperature because I want to do something a little bit fussier with it. I just want a lighter swirl, and if the batter is very thick, it's quite hard to get a light swirl. And then we have our sodium hydroxide solution here. So we will pour this in and grab our immersion blender and bring this to trace. All right, so we're at a fairly light trace here. So I'm going to add our clay and our essential oil blend. So kaolin clay, white, and then we have our essential oil blend here. And you can see it's really quite viscous down there at the bottom. That's that benzoin, so we'll be using a spatula to get that out. I'm also gonna pop a bit of this in here and use the soap batter to sort of preemptively dilute the mixture so that it comes out a bit easier. So I'll give this a stir, and then you can see that this clump comes up and it can start to get incorporated into the soap batter straight away. Now I want this to be a pretty rich vanilla color, so I'm going to add some of this mica here, which is sort of a deep, warm brown mica that I've pre-dispersed in some extra rice bran oil. I'm just going to pop a bit of batter in here, and that'll be sort of our swirl. So I just want this layer to be, or this swirl to be a little bit whiter. So I've got some titanium dioxide here that I have dispersed in a bit of rice bran oil, and we'll incorporate that. That's a fairly mild contrast, and I don't want to add a bunch more titanium dioxide to this batter and risk getting glycerin river, so I'm just going to add more darkness to the dark batter to increase that contrast. Keeping in mind, of course, that the titanium dioxide layer does lighten up as it saponifies, so we don't need it to be as white as we'd like it to be right now. Well, I'm afraid that might have swirled a little bit more than I wanted it to during the pour process, but I guess we'll find out when it's cut. To top things off, I wanted to bring in some of this gorgeous gold mica. So this is from Ivan over at Humblebee, and he gave me some samples of some of the new glitter and micas that they're carrying. And I just love this sort of antiqued gold. It's so pretty. So I wanted to sprinkle some along the top here. Let's see how my Ziploc bag opening skills are while wearing gloves. All right. And I'm actually going to leave that to sit for a little while. We're actually going to make this other soap, which will be in a different video, so that it just thickens up a bit so that I can do some scoopy sculpty things with the top. So see you in about 20 minutes. As you can see, we've got more batter on this side, so we should be ready to scoopy sculpty this one. Definitely going to need more of that glitter. All right, well, let's leave that to saponify for about 24 hours and come back and see if that swirl turned out. And there you go, you just made some vanilla spice Christmas soap. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and check the description box below the video for all the written information about this recipe. So the amounts of all the different oils and percent, so you can calculate it out to any size that you like. And then the link to this recipe on my blog where it's all written out, all the instructions and everything are written out for you. Plus there are links to all of the ingredients and all of the equipment I used. See you next time.